Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and this Sunday, May 30th, is AEW's Double or Nothing. And joining me to break down this quite auspicious card is the one and only Julian Smith, Chemical Julian. Julian, what's going on, my brother?
Oh, Dr. Woods, here I am here with the philosopher of fisticuffs himself, the maestro of MMA, and we're just here to talk about a little bit of wrestling.
Yes, we are.
We're talking about AEW's flagship show, Double or Nothing, which is not coming from a gambling town.
Yeah. Oh man, it's there's a lot. So I liked. I guess this is like the hinging on AEW's new Friday night offering of Friday Night Dynamite, which sounds something straight out of J.J. Walker. Good God, it's just. But that's one of the many things about AEW where they kind of are predicated on, I guess you would say, antiquated terminology. All in Double or Nothing, right? Like casino analogies, right? And I don't think it works when you take it out of places that have casinos. I don't think of poker when I think of Jacksonville, Florida, where this fight, this pay-per-view is going to happen at. So I don't know.
Yeah, so you got AEW. I mean, they got their flagship show. This is their WrestleMania or SummerSlam, whichever one you want to call it.
Right.
Just before we went live, we were talking about which promotions are thriving, surviving, and kind of like just hanging on. I do understand that now everyone's trying to do kind of cross promotion. So there's rumors of WWE talking to New Japan. We of course have AEW invading TNA. Ring of Honor is doing their thing. MLW. Well, there's also talk of WWE doing work with MLW. Because I do believe that Court Bauer had some sort of arrangement with WWE at some point. So where's the benefit? Who benefits here? I think definitely because of the consistency of television exposure that WWE and AEW have maintained, it gives TNA a bit of a rub. It definitely would give MLW a rub. New Japan doesn't need a rub from anybody. Even when they started, when they did their American tours, they had total sellouts. And that's just because it was essentially a foreign tour, and people in America were just really fired up to see New Japan wrestlers and see New Japan show here. I personally would rather go to the Tokyo Dome, but no, that's just me. Who benefits here? So TNA benefits, MLW benefits. But like I was saying, so far, the invasion of Kenny Omega into TNA has not done anything for their champions. And right now, I think Moose went and dusted off an old TNA championship and decided he's champion now?
Right.
Yeah.
Which means like absolutely nothing when they were like, he was the secondary. They treated him, like an idiot, right? Carrying around almost like a hacksaw Jim Duggan way back in the 90s of WCW with the television title, right? They just like some yahoo that, fucking rock around with the defunct title. And now, and to none other than Tessa Blanchard, right? Who was stuck in Mexico, kind of dragging her heels and everything like that. And he was the secondary champion or whatever. And then you've got Rich Swann, who's supposedly, allegedly, the linear champion, rightful champion. And he looks like he jumped out of the trash can. He looks like a hobo. Like they might have cleared him out in Echo Park. That's, I don't. I'm not saying that Rich Swann is not a great wrestler. He is. I'm not saying that he's not a dynamic personality, because he is. But, man, this presentation.
So,
like, even when he does the glasses and the sparkly stuff, it's like shining a turd. Like that euphemism of shining a turd. That's
yes,
exactly
I almost want to say that it's literally part of his gimmick to have an alternative presentation. And so I kind of get it. And so think of it like this. If he ever went heel and went corporate, like he'd shine himself up, maybe get a haircut, just totally get the corporate look going, and people turn against him.
I guess. Yeah, but I don't. He's already got go away heat with me, because that's a world champion or whatever. And then you got Moose, who there's something wrong with it, like his footwork and in relation to the boots that he wears, to me, that he always looks like he's like over or outstepping. It's just a weird like visual to me. I don't know. But yeah, so we've got that, and then like Kenny Omega is a champion of like the world, which how could you have 8, what is it? We've got 2 Impact belts, right? TNA Impact, right? 2 AEW, as well as the AAA Mega Campeon, which never gets shown on screen. I don't know why, but they mention it. So I don't know. Like, people are like, oh, legally they can't say, or whatever the hell, or whatever. But like, you can say it verbally, but not picture it on screen. Like, it's just weird to me.
And are those all the titles he's got? I thought there was one more.
No, the two TNA Impact, right?
Okay.
Then you've got the AEW, and then you've got AAA. So technically 4 title belts representing 3 companies.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, it's just weird. And again, only three titles of the 4 get shown on screen, which is, again, just logically.
He never challenged the New Japan Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, that got morphed in, I think, with what is it? The Naito, right? When Naito lost it to, or whoever had the, I forget, whoever had the gold. No, it was the Golden Star, Kenny Omega's old partner, Ibushi, Kota Ibushi. That's who Will Ospreay got it from. But during the Kota Ibushi reign, it got merged together. Yeah, so that was that. But yeah, so here we are, AEW Double Nothing, and obviously the match card is, don't know the official match card, but we're just kind of throwing things here, in no particular order. I'm assuming that they're going to start off with the Casino Battle Royal again. It's weird because they're in Jacksonville. Where the fuck? I haven't been to Jacksonville. I mean, once went to Jacksonville, only in passing. Just went to the Jacksonville airport on my way to Weston, Florida, which was 20 minutes outside. But I didn't see one fucking casino there. So to have a Casino Battle Royal in a place that doesn't have a casino, again, just ideologically, it's fucked up for me. But this is one of many things that I'm just like, I'm pulling the logic. Leave your logic at the door, because like there's none of it.
Okay, so for the Casino Battle Royal, the winner of the Casino Battle Royal gets a shot at the AEW Championship. So ideally, this person will challenge Kenny Omega for the title. In the Casino Battle Royal, you got Christian, Matt Sydal, Hobbs, Penta, Jungle Boy, Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, Blade, Evil Uno, Colt Cabana, Preston Vance.
And Vance, yeah.
Yeah. Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr., Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, QT Marshall, Nick Camaroto, Dustin Rhodes, Lee Johnson, and then they'll probably announce some other people. So let's go over who's not going to win. Well, I'm not going to say that. Let's go over who's most likely going to win. So your top contenders are going to be, let's go with the final four. So in your final four, you'll have Christian, QT Marshall, maybe Brian Pillman Jr., simply because of all of the publicity he's been getting from the Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
And final four. Who would round out that fourth spot? Maybe Blade.
Ooh, wow.
Just going for a reach there.
Okay.
I mean, Penta's going to do some good spots. Rumble Boy's going to get thrown around. Matt Hardy's. What is Matt Hardy doing these days anyway? He's not doing the delete gimmick anymore. He's
a throwaway, unfortunately. Matt Hardy, for as great as he is, even here, like he just can't get booked on top anywhere. You know, he had that world title run in Impact as well as the WWE ECW title, but he's just one of the most talented people that has ever graced wrestling, and he just, it's either like he's too wild or he's not Jeff or his personal demons, and then here he's like too old to do anything with, and it's just like.
Well, I think much like Christian, he's probably there to put other people over. Kind of maybe help the match flow, do a couple spots, do some favorite spots, and then just help some of the younger guys do a little better. Colt Cabana, good worker. He's going to go in there and do his thing. And then Dustin Rhodes, he's not going to win. He'll get probably knocked out. Bullshit. Yeah, something like that. I'm guessing QT Marshall as the winner, just the way storylines have been going. Brian Pillman Jr. going over would be great for a storyline, but he would be definitely too young and too inexperienced to beat Kenny Omega. But it'd be great for storyline in terms of like the young up and comer, the hungry young lion, I'll do it for my dad, all that stuff. And plus he looks like Kenny Omega too.
Well, now, it says to be decided, right? After Lee Johnson's name, if you're looking on the Wikipedia, right? Yep. So theoretically speaking, if you could have somebody enter this Casino Battle Royal, who would it be?
Big Show.
Big Show? Okay.
Just take do the Booker T from the Royal Rumble. His music hits, he takes off his shirt, he's got on the singlet, he goes in there, choke slams a few people, throws a few people out, and then of course they team up on him and throw him back out. But it's totally for the clean up the ring a little bit. Everyone's like, yeah, here's the giant, yeah, this is ha ha ha, and then get on out of there.
I'm maybe the fantasy booking, but if this is where we're going to see if Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan in the WWE, is really and truly a free agent. Because if he is, and he still continues to wrestle past his WWE deal, this is a place you enter him. Now, he doesn't have to be, he can do like an EC3, and there's a couple of others that didn't sign a deal, but you basically, you show up for a night or whatever, and it adds intrigue. I think Matt Cardona, the former Zack Ryder, did the same, right? So, that's where you plug him in. Now, that's again theoretical. That's who I would like uh, to be in here. It's going to be a huge pop because obviously they're doing crowds again, and I like this setup. I really like the single entrance, right to the ring with the people, kind of around the
Sure.
ring. It reminds me of like a cool club vibe. Um, and visually it's just very aesthetic. With the big kind of Tron in the back, it just feels fun, almost like those Club La Vila shows back in WCW for a
Yeah.
different ilk, right? But I would like to see. We're talking about the Final Four. I've got two Final Fours, assuming that obviously Brian Danielson doesn't make an appearance here, right? There, my Final Four would be Christian Cage, Colt Cabana, Dustin Rhodes, and I'm gonna say Matt Hardy. Okay, apparently I'm pretty shit with I guess QT and the rest of the folks, and I know it's probably not gonna happen. They're gonna push one of their theoretical
That's
homegrown
what I was going to
stars.
say. Yeah.
Right. But then again, you look back historically with AEW, the Jericho and Hangman Page deal, and they had a chance to make a new star and a new world champion, and they fucking dropped the ball with Page
Yeah.
and gave it to Jericho. And Jericho subsequently lost the fucking title on his way to a steak dinner.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean, I think so. So, two ways of looking at this. I think it would make a lot more sense for the company for them to have a homegrown dude win it. However, from a storyline, if you want to talk about someone scrapping from the bottom, trying to come back and get some revenge, let your final dude be Rich Swann. Have him come in from TNA. Have him come in and win the title shot and go
yeah.
after Omega again. In fact, he can challenge that night.
No, I like it. I like it because like a Fin Juice would be cool in here. There's a man. Imagine the pop if fucking Tomohiro Ishii fucking pops up.
Oh yeah,
Like, um, we saw the last Impact TV show that Satoshi Kojima, former All Japan and
yeah,
AWA as well as New Japan heavyweight champion. He's doing something with it seems like not Rhino but Joe Doring, another Japanese legend, a former AW what is it, All Japan Triple Crown champion multiple times, right? So
yeah.
there's intrigue there. Hell, fucking Joe Doring would be amazing here, fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. So, um, there's a lot of intrigue, I guess, and the fact that they, get a future world championship title run, or a championship opportunity, as one Vince McMahon would say, I think it would be fun here. But, aside from it, if, let's say, we have you know, a Brian Danielson run in, then it goes Christian Cage, Dustin Rhodes, Brian Danielson, and I'm gonna say Colt Cabana.
Okay.
I like Colt Cabana. I know it's not gonna happen. It's a pipe dream, but I like Colt Cabana. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, Colt's been there for a while, and he's been definitely helping the product and putting people over, and he's been heavily involved. This would be a good run for him. Although him challenging Kenny Omega, you'd be like, oh well, Kenny's gonna win. But him beating Kenny Omega would be a huge. I mean, just like one of those anything can happen moments.
Yeah, no, 100%. Isaiah Perez says hello. Hello, Isaiah. Glad you could be joining us. Yeah. Now, in terms of non-title matches, because I kind of want to stack up all of the championship matches, right? So we have Sting and Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Now, this is going to be the first time since the Seth Rollins kind of buckle bomb going awry that we see Sting actually wrestle a match. Now, of course, there's probably going to be smoke and mirrors. He's probably going to get a hot tag and whatever. But
Right.
It's fun, right? There's a little bit of history there. Things are inherent, built-in history with TNT and Turner broadcasting channels, broadcasting wrestling. That Sting was synonymous for. I like it here, and they're going up against the team of Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. I fucking missed it. How the fuck is Scorpio Sky not a member of SCU anymore?
SCU broke up.
I guess.
And you're like, whatever.
It should be a fucking blow off, man. Like, throw that guy off of Daly's place or whatever the fuck. I guess in theory, you can't, like, literally, break up that team too hard or remove Scorpio from that kind of ensemble, and then also promote him doing a, the podcast, right? The screen, right? Every week. So you can't do too much. I get it, but it's just
I'm really missing something here. Like, why is he teaming with Ethan Page?
Don't know. Well, Ethan Page was one half of the North in Impact, where they were the Impact champions, along with current day X Division champion, the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander. A friend of the show. So it's just weird, and not just the fact that, Scorpio is here with Paige, but also, like, he was the guy, this is the worst, like, he was that guy, right? Yeah. And, I don't know, but then again, we saw that bloody kind of deal where, the SCU and the Young Bucks, and I forgot the Young Bucks, but the SCU and the Young Bucks essentially, the SCU got disbanded. That was the provision or whatever. So I guess in theory, I can see why they separated him before the implosion of SCU, but do it in a way that we remember, right? Like, we all remember the barbershop window with fucking the breakup of the Rockers. Like, do something. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much.
So
storytelling.
We're looking for Darby Allin to carry this match. Sting will come in, howl a couple times, do a few Stinger splashes. I'm not expecting him to take too many bumps, like, out the ring. And Sting and Darby Allin will go over, I'm guessing, and possibly Darby Allin getting the pin.
Yeah. I see that.
If I remember correctly, most recently, didn't Darby Allin just, like, take a beating and get knocked down some stairs? Yeah. So he's got to get his heat back for all that.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. Isaiah says, how are you doing today? I'm doing great. I hope you're doing all right. Julian, you doing fine?
Isaiah, how you doing? I'm doing quite well.
Yeah, man. That's too sweet for Isaiah. Yeah, man. So there you go. Right there's this match where I think Darby Allin is going to take a bunch of bumps. I want to see what because I think Darby Allin is like 25. I want to see what Darby Allin at 32 fucking looks like. Cause
correct.
That coffin drop, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for real.
For a guy his size too.
Well, like all these guys, as they get older, probably like every 5 years, they end up changing up their style, and it'll be less and less high risk, less aerial. He'll start doing some brawling, submission moves.
I hope so. I really hope so. Yeah. Oh, there's actually another non-title match because there's half the card are title matches in one way or another. But we have the aforementioned Hangman Adam Page versus former TNT, bless you. Actually, he was the former TNT, but also the FTW World Champion Brian Cage, the Machine, with Team Taz.
So I remember first seeing Brian Cage down here in PCW. And he had been down here for quite a while. Actually, he'd been doing like the Southern California, West Coast circuit for a while. So I was really glad to see him show up on AEW, especially when they put him with Taz. Hangman Adam Page, he'll probably squeak this one out. It'll be a bit of a grudge match with Taz in the corner talking shit, and he'll probably hop on a commentary for a while.
Yeah, no, 100%. And Isaiah says, I'm doing great. Too sweet. Bless us all. Bless you too, good sir.
Thank you, sir.
No, this one's a throwaway. Yes, there's storyline behind it, but I don't think the story, I can't think of it. Whatever these guys did to each other to be recipients of this match against each other, I fucking cannot remember. But you know what? I absolutely love Hangman Page's buckshot lariat. There's something about it. Him outside the springboard, and of all the things that have been done, springboard wise and whatever, that's different. And that kind of, what is it? I guess it would be the vertical, where he's if you take a bunch of pictures of him doing it, right? There's a point where he's straight up in the air doing a handstand on the rope before he flips over. It's just a beautiful thing to watch. Again, I think they missed a very real opportunity to push one of their homegrown stars from the jump, in the very first AEW branded pay-per-view, and they gave the title to Jericho. I think you need to do some rehab on Adam Page, because he's been lost. Not to say that he hasn't taken chicken shit and making chicken salad out of it. The whole thing with the Dark Order and all this whatever, but do something with him. And I think here,
well, see, so this right here is a result of AEW really trying to hot shot everything, and you can't. How do I put this? It would be like if you said, "Hey, we're going to have the NWO and DX and the Corporation, and the Four Horsemen, and the Legion of Doom, and the Hidden Family, and every segment of every show is going to be these guys just going head to head in some combination and hot shot everything." And so when they had the Dark Order, they really tried to make the Dark Order a thing. And this really goes back to wrestling fan memory. Clearly and really, if you were on at the bottom of the card or the start of the card or the beginning of the show, by the end of the show, people forgot what they saw. And so that's why Raw gets so redundant, and that's why they do so many replays. And they'll be like, "Oh, from the beginning of the show, you remember Bobby Lashley had words with Braun Strowman, and here we're going to go back to a backstage interview. And Braun, what are your thoughts on the upcoming main?" And so what they were doing though is it was like the Elite, Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Dark Order, Cody Rhodes, the Elite, Chris Jericho in the Inner Circle, and then people like Adam Page who were. It was kind of like, okay, we're going to run with you for a couple months, and then we're going to run with this guy for a couple months. And what they didn't want to do was play hot potato with the title. So it ended up being like Hulk Hogan's villain of the month kind of thing. And so that's how a person like Adam Page, who's really good, ends up getting lost in the shuffle.
Right.
Because he doesn't have a title that lets him be on TV every week. And then everyone else who does have a title is kind of like, hold on to this for a while.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's almost like maybe Lex Luger. Lex Luger was super hot it's one of the reasons why Nitro got as big as it did was,
Yeah,
Lex Luger showing up on the very first one so
correct.
soon after. I mean, he competed at, a WWF live event that weekend, I think like
Yep.
24 hours before. So, um, yeah, I hope he has a Lex Luger-esque career going forward, but that's here and over there.
Yeah, so he's just going to find his niche, kind of stick with it, and then just work his way back up in the title scene.
No, yeah, 1,000%. Now we've got, I guess we'll save this one. The multi-man tag is his major storyline. So, for I guess like argument's sake, we're gonna put this along with the rest of the title matches in this card. But we get started off in terms of like the title portion of the show, a championship portion of the show, where we have reigning and defending NWA Women's Champion Serena Deeb versus Riho.
Which will be fantastic.
Yes, it will be. I don't, and especially, and we're gonna get to it in the next women's title match, but I want to believe that they're gonna put Riho over, and to me, man, Serena Deeb, she's so great. Like, she's one of,
Dude, she's fantastic.
yeah, she is, and she has been. Unfortunately, she had her kind of issues and demons, and during her run with the Straight Edge Society that basically unceremoniously removed her from not only the storyline but also the company of the WWE. But yeah, she's great. I dig it. I actually would love her to see her with the Seidel brothers, because they got the guru or whatever.
Yeah.
She's a yoga person or whatever, and I think that's like money on the table if you don't put those two together.
Dude,
Or three together.
I think WWE dropped the ball so hard. Not only with the Straight Edge Society. So just the sidebar, the Straight Edge Society had a lot of really good continuity to it. So the whole fact that that CM Punk took Festus, who was like, hey, the reason why Festus was acting like that was because he was on these drugs and it was making him mindless. Hey, we're going to put you on straight and narrow, and now you're going to be this ass-kicking monster who's a wrestler. And then the same thing with Serena, following CM Punk as her savior, but was, really doing some good stuff in the ring. Could have been a great asset to the Divas division, which was at the time, and later on the women's division. She should have been wrestling Molly. She should have been wrestling Trish. She should have been wrestling Lita. She could have been tearing the house down with those guys. And she even looked hot while she was bald. So, they dropped the ball like 3 different ways with that one angle. And but she's still around. And she was in Shimmer. She was in I forget the other division she was in. It's a little mine. But she's been holding it down. She's been doing really well. And I'm really glad to see her here as the NWA Women's World Champion. But I'm pretty sure that Rio's going to go over. She's definitely, getting her exposure and putting on some phenomenal matches or something.
1,000%. 1,000%. The fact of the matter, I not to say that Riho, unfortunately, I just don't see it Riho. I don't get her, right? Because even for a Japanese Joshi, right, there's Hikaru Shida, right? There's the gal that they were promoting before that dressed up like Freddie Mercury,
Right.
There are a lot more engaging talents, a Japanese talent. I don't know why she's here outside of the fact that, maybe Kenny has his rocks off for her ever since he tagged with her as a child, which, that's weird. So weird, but that's it. Riho is the 9-year-old child that the YouTube video of Kenny Omega tagging with I think she beat him. That's the thing.
Yeah,
they didn't even tag. Yeah. So maybe he wants to get his win back, and I don't know. That's something I want to touch. literally and figuratively. But with that all being said, I feel like in these two titles matches, we're going to have the champion. I mean, the Japanese Yoshis in Rio and Hikaru Shida
Right.
um, win and defend respectively, because of the horrible comments of one Willie Urbina, who I believe just before we went on the air, he basically got fired from AEW. Willie Urbina, who used to be I believe he was a commentator in Puerto Rico, ended up becoming a commentator, a Spanish language commentator with Hector Guerrero way back in
Okay.
Impact Wrestling, right? Way back
Okay.
in Impact Wrestling. He's here as a Spanish commentator. Um, and he makes some horrible comments, mimicking Hikaru Shida. And, yeah, it's just not cool. Not cool. But I believe to kind of circumvent any kind of backlash that this pay per view could get
Yeah.
in the media or whatever, you're going to have the Japanese talent go over.
Yeah.
And I just, Hikaru, I definitely see, why she would win. Although Britt Baker has been on fire, right? With
She has
Rebel,
been.
great gimmick. The whole doctor's gimmick that they have. Like,
Yes.
she's really good. Rebel's really good. They're really good. But I think they get jobbed out to Hikaru, and and Rio jobs out Serena Deeb. Which again, if you don't have Britt Baker, who's on fire, and Serena Deeb, who's doing the best work of her career, right? Then who do you have for Hikaru going forward, right? Is she holding the belt until Brandy comes back after having a baby and maternity leave to eventually make her the best in the world or what have you? Rio again.
No. You forgot about some free agents who are sitting out there in limbo right now.
Oh, the Iconics.
Exactly.
Hmm.
You can have either one of the Iconics, one being a manager, one being the wrestler, or they can be flip flopping, either or. Mickey James is out there.
Yes.
I mean, she's still got some gas in her tank.
Oh yeah.
Chelsea Green.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. So maybe I'm not so sour, but yeah, I predict Rio in the Serena Deeb, match, the NWA Women's Championship match. Rio to go over, and
Yeah.
I guess didn't mean to combine the two, kind of takes on it, but I guess it works. Where
Yeah.
Hikaru will retain against Britt Baker, but
So
I think
also, Britt Baker
there was
losing definitely doesn't take away her heat. I mean, as a heel, she's going to get it back on TV and she's going to explain away the loss by saying, some sort of cheating, the ref, the announcer. I mean, something. She'll have some reason for why she lost, and she'll just maintain her heat, or she'll sucker punch her, and I mean, it'll keep on going. So
yeah.
I don't think there's any really downside for Britt Baker losing this one. Serena, I don't know how long they're going to keep the NWA title around. Depends on how long that deal goes for, but she could always come back and try to get another title shot or get her belt back.
Yeah, no, 100%. So there's this here. So yeah, I think they're going to be phenomenal matches. But I also think that they're going to forget everything come Tuesday or Friday or whatever the next show is. By AEW Dark Elevation, whatever the fuck that's on YouTube, we're gonna forget about all of it next week, and that's sad. That's really sad. Now, speaking of things that are sad, I don't mean to be the gloomy gust, so to speak, but we have Cody Rhodes, who is the American Nightmare, but for the weigh-ins, one Paul White, the former Big Show, kept on referring to Cody as his dad's old moniker of the American Dream rather than the American Nightmare. And I thought it was funny to get about.
The second most recognizable athlete in the entire world.
Yeah. So basically, we had a weigh-in, right? We had a weigh-in between Cody Rhodes flanked by Arn Anderson, and that's what they're saying here. But Cody Rhodes had, as a babyface, had a shit ton of people in the aisleway waving the American flag or whatever, and he's going up against former British boxing bronze medalist and former AEW dark commentator Anthony Ogogo, flanked
Yes.
by QT Marshall and Nick Camarado, as well as Bailey's old beau, Aaron Solo, right?
Yes.
Jesus. So I want to talk about the weigh-in. Okay, they had a weigh-in on last night at the time that we're taping this the Saturday morning before Double or Nothing and after
Okay.
AEW Dynamite Friday night Dynamite, right? But they had a weigh-in between both Ogogo and Cody Rhodes, right? And there was a shit ton of people, and you had Paul White of all people, right? Basically figuring out the scale. This was a mind fuck to me, who also dabbles in MMA and seen weigh-ins and all
Yeah.
this shit. Why did they fucking have a weigh-in? Why did they even have a weigh-in? Are they competing for a title? Is there an express like, hey, I bet you, was there a bet that happened that, oh, I bet you can come under 220 pounds. I'll see you, whatever. Like, it's all fucked up. And then you had, all these people, and then the world's largest athlete that we've been told is for the last 20, almost 30 years, right? In
Yeah.
Big Show, right? That's unleveled ground on a mat, right? On a wrestling mat, right? That's gonna just throw the scale all off. Yeah, oh God, it was just so, to me, just
Okay.
ideologically.
Okay. So you're looking at this through MMA and boxing eyes, and you're forgetting that this is wrestling and this is a work. The weigh-in has nothing to do with nothing. It's just a reason for there to be a fight and a conflict. Um, it's the equivalent of hey, we're gonna have a super pose down, or hey, I'm gonna do some push-ups. Someone sit on my back. There's things that happen in the ring that are not wrestling that serve nothing but to be a vehicle for there to be conflict. So yeah, the weigh-in. I mean, like, yeah, is this for the heavyweight title, and we're making sure that you're heavy enough to be in the match, or is this for X division, and we're making sure that you're light enough to be in X division? Yeah, that's got nothing to do with it. But they had to do the thing where you have a weigh-in, you have an entourage, you got a bunch of people, and so the opportunity for there to be chaos and the schmoz and the break up fight just exists. So I'm assuming there's a fight.
Yeah, no, and it's, I don't know. Even in wrestling, it's just, why even fucking do it, man? Why even fucking do it? That's what I'm saying.
What was the payoff to it? Was there a fight? Was there a?
Well, see, even like QT Marshall got on the mic after, it was like, oh, Ogogo is 1 pound over, right? That means he's 1 pound more. He's pretty much sealed the fucking deal of victory. Hell, again, in boxing, in MMA, you come 1 pound over, the fight's fucking off.
Correct.
The fight's fucking off. So why do this? Why do this?
Did anybody get jumped?
I can't even remember.
Anybody get hit from behind?
I can't even fucking remember. This one, I was pulling my fucking hair out. The lack of whatever the fuck.
It just made no
that this
sense.
was.
Yeah.
It didn't register. It didn't, like, why? Why? This, why? I don't get it. Don't understand it. Why? Like, I don't, and I think, this is a matter of Ogogo. They've mentioned it on air. That Ogogo is training at the Nightmare Factory, right? With Cody Rhodes, right, in Georgia, in somewhere in Georgia. So this is just a glorified, almost the way that like Cody was done with, Hardcore Holly back in the day, right?
Yeah,
Where, you know, the Hardcore was the mentor, and he's taking Cody out, and they feud, and they tag, and then they feud, right? So
right.
I think that's what we got here. But
Okay.
of all the British Anthonys that are involved in boxing, obviously you can't get Anthony Joshua, right? But I don't think here nor there anybody gives a shit, with all due respect, about Anthony Ogogo.
Well, it's better than getting a YouTube star. It's better than having him fight Cutie Pie or something.
Great.
Kind of just take what you can get. Hey, maybe this is like the Rock fighting the coach. No, that was the Rock.
Yeah.
But they needed a spot. Cody needed to be on the card.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know, man. This is just here. This is a match that is just here. This is how we can praise Cody for his training and mentorship of off camera mentorship of Ogogo, because Ogogo turns out, I mean, realistically speaking, they have this. I mean, the only thing that we can compare it to like like mainstream people is Bad Bunny at Mania. So Bad Bunny got like amazing reviews and insight from that match, and all of the three other in Damian Priest, The Miz, and Morrison all got praised for their work rate and leading him along to a plausible match, right? So awesome. So I think how well Ogogo performs, we're gonna hopefully, well, in Cody's mind, we're gonna praise him just as much as we praise the three for Bad Bunny at Mania.
But the dude's already a boxer, so I mean,
again, one of the many things that why AEW just.
I mean, they could have got Swerve. I mean,
maybe.
He's obviously fighting them for a paycheck.
So what you're saying, this should be on the undercard of the one of the Paul brothers versus whoever the fuck wants a payday?
Exactly.
Okay. So Triller, get at AEW, get at Tony Khan, because I guess fucking A. Yeah. So we have this multi-man tag team match, right? The Stadium Stampede. We've got the pinnacle of MJF. Wardlow, I hate that name, Wardlow. God. Sean Spears, the former Ty Dillinger, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood, FTR, formerly known as a Revival in the WWE, with Tully Blanchard, WWE Hall of Famer, against the Inner Circle, which consists of Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, fucking asshole, and Santana and Ortiz. I don't like Sammy Guevara. Fuck him.
I remember you told me.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. So the stipulation is the Inner Circle, if they lose, they must disband as a team. Now, the Inner Circle was the first faction of AEW. And it's funny because Jericho cut the promo of last night of, he didn't want to be in a faction, right? He's somebody, of his own volition and all that, whatever. But then when he saw these guys, he wanted, like, it reminded him of Guns N' Roses, back in the day, right? And I thought it was an amazing promo, but it's also contradictory to why we've been told for the last 2 years that the Inner Circle exists. That Jericho wanted it, not the fact that. And he basically is like, oh, we're going to put you in the faction. So is he breaking the fourth wall? I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird because they've told us that Jericho handpicked for 2 years. Jericho himself told you that he handpicked this group of guys to flank him. And then he's telling us, so somebody in the back presumably Tony Khan, right? Saying you need a faction. So I don't know. That's it. But I think it's weird that they're doing another disbanding match so soon after we broke up the SoCal Uncensored SCU.
Yeah. I Okay, so my question aside as to why Tony Khan would be telling who to be in what faction or whatever, that seems kind of silly. But I personally feel that Chris Jericho was put together with the Inner Circle for two reasons. One, he's the heel champion and he has people to protect him. Number one. Obvious answer. We've seen it time and time again. Second answer is Cody's the single star. This is Cody's operation. This is his thing. So he's got to be by himself. He's got to be in charge. He's got to be the star of the show. So Jericho, you go over there and you're champ, but you got some other people. And that helps Cody to shine.
Yeah, I don't like that stipulation of Cody never being able to challenge for a world title again, and they dropped it so early into AEW's run, and it's just like, why, if he's not a main guy, why does he get a fucking separate entrance, with everyone else? Why does he, get pyro just to do a fucking promo? It's just
his wife and his dog.
Yeah, 1,000%.
It's his show. It's his show.
Yeah,
he does everything except for the power walk.
Which, it's funny because everybody that, kind of called his dad kind of nepotistic in terms of his booking and all this stuff, and his last title run, was pretty much to the behest of everyone else in the NWA, right? Cody's doing almost the same. I think Dustin is like the only kind of straight and narrow that gives you what you want. He's not a VP, he's not a whatever, and gives you just fucking kick-ass matches, kick-ass character, kick-ass storytelling. And that's why, he's in my Final Four of the fucking Casino Battle Royal, because why the fuck not? Give it to Dustin. I want Dustin to have the fucking separate entrance. Everything that Cody has, I want Dustin to have.
So I'm thinking here that the Inner Circle is going to win simply because if you break up the Inner Circle, Sammy Guevara is going to suffer, and Santana Ortiz will be fine. Don't know what to do with Jack Swagger. I mean, unless Jericho just keeps him around as a bodyguard.
Right.
But in the spirit of breaking him up, he'd have to go away. So I don't know what would happen to Jake Hager. So that could be bad for him. So for two of the members, this would be a definite downside. Whereas, there's no penalty for the Pinnacle losing.
Yeah, I see that. I definitely see that. And it's not a bad. It's not a bad deal. Yeah, God, I love the Pinnacle. I just hate the name Wardlow. I fucking hate the word Wardlow. So stupid. So fucking stupid.
I think for me, the lead-in promos have been for Wardlow, like fighting dudes on a parking deck. I was just like, how good is this? And then that just hit the sour taste in my mouth, but I just didn't care after that.
Yeah, so here's the thing. The whole presentation of Wardlow just fucking doesn't do it for me, because whatever the fuck his hair is, don't get it, right? Then he's wearing a wrestling singlet, right? That almost, calls to the memory of Scott Steiner, when he was part of the, pre-Papa Pump and everything like that.
Yeah.
But Scott Steiner was a far phenomenal athlete at this juncture of his career than one Wardlow, right? Than the name, right? So there's just a whole lot of, he's a body guy, but you fucking dress him in a singlet, but he's not a fucking collegiate wrestler like Scott Steiner, nor having the fucking Frankensteiners and shit like that. The fucking Scott Steiner was killing himself, in early WCW, like landing on his fucking head every time he hit a standing Frankensteiner. Wardlow's not that, so I don't get the name, don't get the look, don't get anything.
Who is he? Is he MJF's muscle or what?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it. Now, maybe I'm thinking too much of it, but you've got, you got Brian Cage, you got Powerhouse Hobbs, who's in his name. It's explicit that he's a powerhouse, right? You got all these big guys, and even like fucking Hobbs has a similar singlet. So, just I don't know, so weird.
Maybe at some point we get all these big dudes into a single match and just have a big slobber knocker.
Jesus Christ, I don't want any of that. Fuck, no. It's just going to be so green. Somebody's going to get injured. It's going to be, somebody's going to land on their fucking head. It's not going to be good. Or you get like a three-way version of, Lesnar and Goldberg at Mania 20. Exactly. Yeah, so.
As long as someone tries to do a shooting star press, we'll be all right.
Yeah, give me fucking what's his name? Yuji Nagata all day. Fuck, if you're gonna do that, 50-year-old Yuji Nagata, fucking come face arm locking motherfuckers. Let's just do that. So we have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. We have the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, with the Elite, presumably the Good Brothers of Anderson and Gallows, and one formerly removed VP of Impact Wrestling, one Don Callis, the former Jackal, if you're old enough to remember that, the Truth Commission. Hell yeah. Yes. And they're going... Oh, you were saying?
Yeah, the Jackal and Cyrus?
Yeah, Cyrus the Virus in ECW. Yeah,
Cyrus.
He was the network guy.
Yes, remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the network guy that was fucking putting the boots to fucking ECW on CNN.
That seems really odd that the Young Bucks would come out with another tag team. Okay.
No, and a bigger tag team at that, who are also champions of another promotion that is supposedly lesser than AEW.
Correct.
Again, I wanted to be positive about this shit, but this is the shit that they're giving us.
Unless we get the swerve and somehow, okay, so the Good Brothers interfere. They get the Young Bucks disqualified. Then Moxley and Kingston challenge the Good Brothers for their TNA Tag Championships and take them.
I like that. I'm not mad at that. I'm loving the promos and everything with the team of Eddie Kingston and Moxley.
Yeah.
They are the stars. If anybody tells you that they're a star, these two are stars. These two, you could put them in any format, whatever. And people that might not know the history of Eddie Kingston and Moxley, pre-Moxley's run in WWE and whatever, like definitely take a look back. These guys have been in wars together against each other and what have you. But even if you didn't know any of that, you just turned on AEW's presentation. You know they're the baddest motherfuckers around. They are head and shoulders. They'll beat the shit out of the Good Brothers. Like, they are fighters, right? Where Cody and fucking a Go-Go are trying to fucking weigh in or whatever for a supposed alleged prize fight or whatever the fuck. Kingston and Moxley are ass kickers. Like, those two, if Arn Anderson, I'm sure he's going like, these two are the fucking four horsemen. There are two of them, but they're four horsemen.
Yeah.
The four, horsemen of the fucking apocalypse. These motherfuckers are going to ride on, I don't know what the fuck, Apocalypse Riders do, and
I,
just
I
fucking
can't
kill
tell
everything.
you how happy I was to see Moxley get interviewed for the Nick Gage segment of Dark Side of the Ring.
Okay,
Because he was around for was it CZW?
CZW. Yep.
Yeah, CZW, yeah. And I mean that was Moxley like way back in the day. That's where I actually originally remember him from.
Yeah. Yeah. They I remember like there was this promo, iconic promo for the time. Him and Sammy Callahan just like outside, like again in an alley or something like that, and it was just like, oh, this guy's a fucking star, man. Like
Yeah.
this, and Callahan too. Callahan unfortunately has regressed. I don't know if it's because of him, his booking, or whatever the fuck, but yeah, man. I there's I don't want to say like there's no way that like Mox and Kingston don't take the titles, but if I'm booking this shit, they're taking the fucking titles.
Yeah.
And then
They theoretically should beat the crap out of the Young Bucks and take the titles.
yeah, and then they'll even fucking unite the fucking Impact titles because they go over because obviously at some point the Good Brothers are gonna fucking interfere or whatever. So they're gonna get their comeuppance and still their tag team titles too. So the Elite becomes subpar.
Correct. Hey, was it last year that Moxley make his entrance in All or Nothing?
Might be.
Like he came in at the very end, and then he had his first match at All In.
I think so.
Okay, so maybe we could get a surprise run in. Probably not in that match, but maybe we can get a surprise run in by a new person. Could be that match. Could be someplace else.
It could be. Could be. I'm open. No, this match is going to be good. It's going to be Pro Wrestling 101,
Yeah.
and I hope that everybody, including the Bucks, because the Bucks, unfortunately, my view of them has become almost Jim Cornette-esque, right? Where they make phenomenal fucking moves, look ordinary, and that's one of the things that you shouldn't fucking do. Why kill yourself? 80 super kicks in a fucking match and it's just the ideological fucking state of their wrestling style. I don't get, and flippy shit moves in 2021 and the last 5 years are the new fucking hardcore matches, right?
Correct.
When ECW and XPW wanted to do fucking hardcore matches, what's it? FMW in Japan, they all wanted to do fucking hardcore exploding death match or whatever.
Correct.
Then every fucking promotion wanted to do it, right? So now here we go. We instead of like kendo sticks and barbed wire and fucking chair shots aplenty, we've got flippy shit moves that mean absolutely nothing. They look visually appealing. They'll look great in a 4-minute YouTube fucking compilation, but do nothing in terms of the match.
The worst thing I think I ever saw was a Canadian Destroyer used as a transition move.
Exactly.
I mean, I remember when the Canadian Destroyer was a Canadian Destroyer. Done and done, back when DDTs used to end matches. But then again, Tully Blanchard's finisher move used to be a fucking suplex.
I hope so. I mean, you got Tully and Arn in the back. I hope they just like calm down, motherfuckers. Calm down. And it's and I forgot to mention it with the Pinnacle. Against the Inner Circle. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Yes, the Inner Circle. The blow off was the Pinnacle. Basically taking. I couldn't even remember. The fucking camera work was all over the place. But they did in stereo fucking pile drivers to everyone in the fucking stadium, right? And, 2 of them go through a fucking table, right? I couldn't tell you whatever, right? But how does, like, they could stay down for that, but then if they match with the Bucks, they'll have the Indie Taker 8 times,
Correct.
and
Correct.
and they still make a comeback. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's that. Yazbeat says, John Moxley and Kingston take the titles. I hope so. I fucking
I hope so.
good sir.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, I believe. Oh yes, we have the AEW TNT Championship. The Miro versus Lance Archer with Jake the Snake Roberts. Do you give a shit about this match?
No, not really. But I do hope that Lance Archer wins, just so Jake can have one of his students with the championship.
Yeah.
Even though it's the TNT championship, I guess this is their version of the TV title.
This is the what?
This is their version of the TV title.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, in the sense that they, and again, this is fucking right, like smack dab in your fucking head that the AEW doesn't have the fucking foresight. Like, they can't think beyond whatever the fuck, right? Because they got the fucking TNT title, right?
Yep.
They're gonna be moving to fucking TBS. So what? You requesting the fucking?
No, hold on. Are they? This is what I wasn't clear on. Are they moving all the shows to TBS, or are they creating a separate show for TBS?
I can't remember. There was just a lot of fucking wrestling news. Like, I can't whatever. But so essentially, one of your major titles can't be defended.
Correct.
On. This is like Cody all over again. I can't, contend for the title because not to be nepotistic, right? But I can also have a separate entrance and pyros for promos and announce my fucking, scare the shit out of my dog and announce the birth of my child. Where wrestlers.
Well, here you go. So somebody from the other show comes over to TNT, wins the title, and then spray paints something else on top of the belt. And then they end up changing the belt.
The only person that you can doing that is Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Eddie Kingston, yeah. Because Mox has already had the title, the world title, so I don't, But yeah, see, like, we're talking about, like, whatever. We not even giving a shit about the two guys that are in the match, right? Miro, for whatever reason, we were like, oh man, he was like a blue chip prospect that the WWE couldn't do anything with him. And then now he's who he wants to be. But who the fuck is he? Does he connect with? I don't know.
He's a streamer and a gamer.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's cool.
I guess. He used to be a badass. Just saying.
Yeah. Rusev Clutch.
Yeah. Now he wears Orange Crush fucking inspired gear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Lance Archer, he hasn't won a title. He's with Jake the Snake. So, right on.
Yeah. Come on, Lance, let's do it.
Yeah. Now, Yazbeat's giving us a little bit of insight. I could be wrong, but I think they're only producing one show, and then Dynamite, that they're saying that they might be on Fridays after SmackDown. So, apparently, I don't know. That's a weird one, right? So, maybe they're predicating, like, everybody essentially staying home. Because Friday nights, that's party nights, right? If you're a certain age, right? If you're a certain age, those are party nights. But then you've got Miro, who's a Twitch game streamer, whatever, that fits that demographic of the people that would be going out. And you have him here on Friday nights. Is it a watch? I guess.
Maybe they'll team him up with somebody else and He'll become a tag team.
Or maybe kids don't go out and get laid anymore. Maybe that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, for us, after Sliders and X Files went off, it's time to hit the road.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just weird. All weird. But we are at the main event, right?
That's the main event.
We have the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega, and he literally has, again, 4 titles to represent 3 companies, but one of the titles can't be seen on screen for whatever reason, right? But he's flanked with Don Callis, yet again, against Orange Cassidy and Pac. God, I want Pac to win. Right off the bat, I want Pac to win.
So Pac is the spoiler.
Okay.
Pac is the spoiler. I think Orange Cassidy takes it.
Really?
Yeah. Pac is going to hit one of his high-flying moves on Kenny Omega. Orange Cassidy is going to slip it on the banana peel and knock him out the ring. Pin Kenny in 1, 2, 3. And then Kenny will take the title back on Tuesday.
Yeah. I'm
really focusing on the, hey, do we want to go with the homegrown talent? Do we want to go with one of our new guys? What kind of heat does this generate for Kenny Omega to lose one title? Oh no, I've got to get one back in the collection, kind of thing. Give the story a little bit of gas. You could even have the unpredictable Rich Swann come in and come from the title. On the 1,000-to-1 Vegas odds, you could have Patrick Clark come in and come from the title. But it would be. I think it would be good for storyline.
Yeah. And Orange Cassidy, him raising the title after all of the fucking mayhem, and this is what wrestling is supposed to do, is make us suspend disbelief. Like, the champion, isn't going to retain, so, yeah, man. Yaz says, I'm with you. I want Pac to win. Pac has done so much. He's just done so much. He carried the cruiserweight division in the WWE, where, it's just, I want Pac. That's it,
Why did he end up leaving anyway? WWE.
Pardon?
Why did Pac end up leaving WWE?
I don't know. It's been so long.
Yeah, it's been a while. I can't remember why he left.
Yeah, I don't know. Speaking of run-ins,
I remember after he left, he went back to. He was wrestling in Europe, and then he showed up at AEW.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, because I remember that first kind of run. He was tied up with Dragon Gate, and he didn't want to just drop the damn Dragon Gate championship, because he had pretty much attributed Dragon Gate to being a major part of his, the reason why he went to the WWE. So he honored that title, and he didn't just want to drop it all willy-nilly just because some new billionaire comes, and wants to push him to the moon.
Correct.
So yeah, I just, yeah, man, Pac is an unsung hero. He, talk about, making chicken shit into chicken salad. When has he never, delivered on anything that he's done? And not to say Orange Cassidy isn't it, but Orange Cassidy, for that gimmick as the champion, I don't want a champion that doesn't give a shit about wrestling. That's just me. Do a character change or whatever. It's almost like, the old school Bray Wyatt, right? When he's like that you didn't necessarily need a title with him,
Yeah.
Oh shit, we got a run-in franchise player Brad Blood of the Roundtable Wrestling Podcast. When we see his finger, it's the finger poke of doom.
How you guys doing?
Good, man. How about
Doing good.
yourself?
So, what's your take on this triple threat for the? Well,
There it goes.
apparently, In and Out. That's what his hamburger is all about, even though he's in the Pacific Northwest. But yeah, so in terms of what you're looking the most forward to, what match would that be? What moment did you want to see happening?
So I'm a fan of battle royals, so definitely looking forward to the casino battle royal. I'm looking forward to the Stadium Stampede match, and the Serena Deeb match. I'm looking forward to that. And then I also want to see if, I want to watch Moxley and Kingston beat the crap out of the Young Bucks.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I want everyone to beat the shit out of the Young Bucks. Good God.
So to answer your question about Pac, the reason why Pac left WWE is because the direction they had him going in was pure bullshit. He didn't want to have to deal with the situation of actually having to drop the belt to Enzo because Enzo was a clown.
I remember that. Yes.
Yes.
I talked to Pac a couple months ago about that. I was going to bring him on to do an interview, and his issue was that they wanted him to drop the belt to Enzo, and Enzo was making a mockery of the Cruiserweight title and making a mockery of just wrestling in general. So Pac, being such a professional, was like, you know what? I don't want to do it. So Vince was like, if you don't want to do it, you can sit at home. And Pac was like, fuck it, okay. You're paying me to sit at home. Great.
Yeah.
So I guess franchise player Bad Blood. What are you looking forward to the most of Double or Nothing?
I'm looking forward to Samoa Joe being the Joker in the casino battle royal.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a lot of speculation that he was going to Impact. Well, truth be told, he's not going to Impact. He's going to sign a deal to go work with AEW, and he's going to immediately win the Casino Royale.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally forgot that Joe also, because I mentioned Bryan Danielson, but Joe is without. That's a big fucking get.
The whole Bryan Danielson, I'm so people really and truly believe that Bryan Danielson is going to join AEW. He's not signed to WWE. More realistically, he is still signed to WWE.
Yeah.
Do you think in any way, shape, or form that they would still be doing the whole, what's his name, Roman Reigns calling him out live on TV if he wasn't still part of the WWE?
Correct.
So they're trying to pull the wool over people's eyes, but I've been in the business long enough. I know the truth.
100%. Yeah, I like I said, when we close out of Double or Nothing 2021, the lasting image that I want to see is all the fucking confetti, all the people and whatever there at Daly's place in Jacksonville, to just be heaping praise on Pac. I think Pac, and again, for everything that, the whole Omega storyline of him being a champion of all these different places, it's a good fucking storyline. I don't want Omega there. I don't like Omega. Omega's not the guy. Like Omega and the Bucks for a wrestling promotion that essentially they are executive vice presidents for, they've never felt less important than they do right now. They can't even fucking book themselves. So that is an eerie foreboding of what the rest of AEW's future could be, right? So I like, let's do the same fucking storyline in place Pac. Pac goes and he beats Omega here. He beats Omega at Impact. He beats Omega in AAA. Pac versus, because they've got, the former Andrade Idolo, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Pac versus Andrade, that's fire. I'm whatever fucking AAA fucking stream that they've got. I'm paying the money for that. That's a fucking good fucking match. Like, so again, I like that whole storyline, the fucking breaking down the fourth wall, whatever. Just don't like Omega in this place. So I hope the kind of unraveling of that is Pac winning the title and then going forward.
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. It sucks that Pac isn't going to win the title. Omega is going to retain the title. He's going to do the whole New Japan gimmick. He's going to win the New Japan Championship as well. And also Dragon that should be the end all be all. Now, when it comes to being like the call promotions, I don't see that storyline going any further than this summer.
Yeah. No, I agree. I guess the internet went out. Well, yeah. So that is the AEW Double or Nothing 2021 kind of preview show. Julian, where can they find you on the socials?
Oh, on Instagram, you can find me at Chemical Julian. You can also find me there on same thing on Twitter.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, you are. And then Bad Blood, you can find him at the franchise player Bad Blood, who is not usually blacked out. But and the Roundtable podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. And I am According to Woods, and you can find me at According to Woods literally across the board, except for Twitter, where it's Adam K. Woods. But if you put in at According to Woods in the Google machine, it'll come up 100%. So thank you, Julian. Thank you, Franchise Player, for doing this. Thank you guys for watching. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I mean, Julian, you're subscribed to the podcast, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. All day, every day.
Hell yes. So be like Chemical Julian, a literal chemical engineer, one of the smartest people I know. He's my Bobby the Brain Heenan. And go ahead and subscribe to the podcast. And if you don't believe me or Chemical Julian, and I don't know why you wouldn't, well, here's Zeta Zang to convince you.
Hey, this is Zeta Zang. Make sure you